Hey, I was getting quite many messages on YouTube and on the blog when I write about management and when I complain about management. And I complain a lot about modern management and how unprofessional and incompetent our managers are. And people very often reply with something like, I agree and I want to quit my job, or I did quit my job, or I didn't like my manager in the past and then I quit the office, quit working for that manager and went somewhere else. So it's always around quitting. It's always around leaving the space and going somewhere else. Like the management problem here, okay, I'm gonna pack my things and I'm gonna, go somewhere else and find a better place. I think it's not really a proper behavior, not a proper answer to the incompetence you have in the office. And you will have incompetence. Look around. I don't know how many of you actually who is listening this right now can say that your management is professional and you're happy to work with your manager. You like your management, you appreciate the way they manage you. I don't think that many of you can say that. But it doesn't mean that all of you should just change your companies and go somewhere else, because you're not going to find something better in the place you go to. You will find, in most cases, you will find exactly the same or a little bit different situation, but the overall situation on the market is exactly that. The management is incompetent. They don't know how to manage you. But it doesn't mean we need to quit. And I was thinking even more about why people stay in the company. So what keeps me, for example, what keeps me interested to stay in the project? Let's not say the company, but the project or a team or a group of people where there are resources like money and there are things to do. And I believe that what has to keep a professional developer, if you are a professional developer, if you consider yourself somebody who is really professional and who cares about what you do in your life and not just feed yourself and find money to eat, which some people do, but we are, I believe, in tech industry, we're not that kind of people. We need more than that. It's not enough just to have food on the table. We need something more, because basically now programmers, we do have food on the table with enough amount, so we need something on top of that. And what is it? So what matters for us when we stay in the office? What keeps me, for example, like I said, what keeps me in the project, in the team? I believe there is not money. It's not money. So I think that money is what attracts people to the team. That really works. So money works when you attract somebody. I can tell you from my experience, when we try to find programmers, then very often the question is how much you pay. We of course tell them about the project, we tell them about how interesting is the team, how good we are, and so on and so forth. But actually people, when they change places, in most cases they care about cash. That's my experience tells me that. But when they move to your team, you cannot keep them with the money. The money was interesting for them, they look interesting for them when they decided to join you. But to stay with you, money is not going to be the motivator for them to not leave. So what is it? The ability to solve challenging problems. The ability. That's why I put it's two things. So there are ability and challenging problems, but actually it's one thing. So if I have the ability, staying in my group, having the resources I have, if I have the ability to solve problems which I find challenging, then I will stay in this project, in this team, in this company for a long time. The ability means in most cases that the management will not stop me, that the management will not force me to solve problems which I don't like to solve. For example, the management gives me a very boring piece of work. Like for example, you have to translate C++, files into Java files, and you have 100 files. It's a job which will take you 3 months, for example. In 3 months, you have to translate one file to another. It's rewrite C++ code into Java. Just rewrite and rewrite. It's a very boring piece of work. And if the management does not allow me within this boring scope to do something interesting, to solve something more interesting problems, maybe to build a translator which will do it, or maybe find a group of freelancers who can do it in a more automated way, in a more optimized way, or something like this. If the management tells me, no, you have to do it in a boring way, you have to solve the problems which are boring to solve, which are not challenging, then I will immediately decide to go somewhere else. But if the management says, this is the scope we have, this is the resources we have, and now it's up to you which challenging problems to solve, as long as in the end of the day you give us the result what we want, then this is a great place. The ability. And ability, of course, includes resources. So if, for example, I say, look, it's a boring job, so I would like to involve freelancers, and that will require some extra resources for that. And if the management says, no freelancers, it's just your job, it's just your salary, just do it the way we want, then of course it's boring and I quit. But if the management gives me resources, so gives me the ability to solve the problems I want to solve, then why change? Why quit? So why going somewhere else? Even if the management is incompetent, even if the management, they don't really what they're doing, like it is in most cases, but they give me this ability to solve things, to solve problems which I care about, then why should I even complain about the management? The management is like some background noise for me. So they do exist, the management. I know they are incompetent. I know they don't understand what they're doing. I know that they can't really see the difference between Java programming and writing documents in Word. But I understand their position. I understand that their job is just not to make me problems, not to stop me from solving the interesting problems I want to solve. So if you find that type of management, if you find that type of company or a group or a team where you have the resources and the ability to work on the problems you like to work with, then that's it. Stay there. Know about the management. Understand how incompetent they are. Write blog posts about that. Laugh about that. Or make videos about that, like I do sometimes. But stay where you stay, because you have the ability to contribute to the world and to yourself by keeping yourself busy solving interesting problems. I hope I made it clear, explaining my attitude to quitting. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.